The French film industry is a staple of most festivals around the world, including, of course, their own Cannes Film Festival. But the movies they make for their own audiences are often quite different from the challenging art films they enter in international competitions. They're the sort of films you'll find at the French Film Festival here. Films like Driving Madeleine.
Oh! Mais qu'est-ce que vous avez à klaxonner comme ça? Je suis prête. Avenue de Chavannes à Courbevoie.
Faut traverser tout Paris, vous êtes au courant?
Si c'était à côté, je ne vous aurais pas appelé.
They're often light, funny, romantic, sentimental, and above all, hugely popular. And it's worth reminding the film snobs that it's just as hard making a successful feel-good story as it is summing up the meaning of life in an earnest art film. Driving Madeleine sees Charles, a hard-up taxi driver, picking up 90-something Madeleine for a trip to the other side of Paris.
Quel âge vous me donnez?
Ça, ouais, 80.
Charmeur. J'ai 92 ans. Les médecins pensent que c'est mieux pour moi que je sois dans un établissement.
Whoa! Attends!
In France, the two stars are the point. Dany Boone, who plays Charles, is one of the top comedy actors in the country after his smash hit Welcome to the Sticks. Think of him as a sort of French Adam Sandler. And Line Renaud has been a household name in France since the 1950s. She actually comes from Armentières, apparently.
Mademoiselle from Armentières, parlez-vous? Mademoiselle from Armentières, parlez-vous? Elle n'avait pas encore parlé, qu'elle savait déjà chanter. Mademoiselle from Armentières.
So that's the setup for Driving Madeleine. He's grumpy and terse, she's chatty, but on her way to a rest home. She's been told she can no longer live on her own. But since this is her last taxi ride, Madeleine wants to visit some places that were important to her.
Ça vous ennuierait pas qu'on fasse un petit détour par Vincennes?
C'est pas notre chemin.
Oui, je sais. J'aimerais revoir mon ancien quartier.
Okay.
She goes to the old neighbourhoods, all quite different now, of course, and along the way she talks about her life. Being French, that means talking about love, particularly her first loves at the end of the war. Charles sighs. This is going to be a long trip.
Le premier homme que j'embrassais, c'est Matt. C'était en septembre 44.
We, on the other hand, are delighted, particularly those of us who don't live in Paris. It's still, without a doubt, one of the most beautiful cities on earth. And because of the deft plotting by writer-director Christian Carillon, we're going to see a lot of the city before Madeleine reaches her destination. Carillon started out in life as a scientist and an engineer before turning to film. This may explain how skillfully he manages to knit the elements of Driving Madeleine into one effective story.
Tout passe en un éclair. 76 ans après, j'ai toujours le goût de ces baisers sur mes lèvres.
As the film progresses, Madeleine's life story becomes increasingly unexpected, and against his will, Charles finds himself sucked into it, and more to the point, engaging with the effervescent Madeleine. And we know what's happening. Right from the start, it was clear we were likely to fall in love with Charles and Madeleine, but we go with it anyway.
Ça fait 30 ans que j'ai pas fumé, mais aujourd'hui c'est spécial. Vous savez ce que mon père me disait? Chaque colère est à coup de vieux. Chaque sourire est à coup de jeune.
Now, occasionally with French Film Festival movies like this, there's a feeling of you had to be there. Not being French, not knowing the context, you can feel you're missing some of the fine points.
Ça vous dit d'aller vous taper la cloche?
Oh oui!
Tout compte fait, on sera pas là avant une bonne heure, voire deux. Hein.
Comment? Non, vous plaisantez?
But not in this case. In fact, non-Parisians may actually have an advantage. It's like a long-awaited holiday as you pass not just the obvious landmarks, the Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame, the Arc de Triomphe, but lesser-known picturesque districts of Paris.
Je veux que vous sachiez que ce voyage en taxi avec vous a été une belle course.
Even the title is a slight improvement on the original French one, Une belle course, a lovely ride. It's better than that, and as it heads towards the expected conclusion, we can only wish other countries put as much effort into satisfying audiences as Driving Madeleine does.